do it this way. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is Brenda Miller, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And tonight is my paper pumpkin class. So whether you subscribe or not and just want to see what's going on, or if you want to see how the kit is made and some alternative projects at the end, I'm glad to have you. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's open our box, our paper pumpkin box. So this one is called The Best There Is, and it is this year's annual masculine paper pumpkin. Usually for the month of May, they do this because Father's Day is coming. So this is the stamp set. We're going to use all the stamps. So mine are all mounted over next to me. So I'm just showing you the picture of all the stamps. So that's what you have in your stamp set. And we get the Misty Moonlight block. So that is always fun to have. Very versatile color. I'll be using my large one. And then we have the packaging, which we can open up. Now, I've obviously already opened mine because I have to make one of each myself to make sure I work out any kinks that there might be, although today there really aren't any. So we will go through the packaging together, though, as best as I can. I try to keep it all together. So we start out when we open it up with our dimensionals and our glue dots. And you'll notice, I don't know if you noticed, but the glue dots are a little bit bigger than they usually are. So these glue dots, Virginia, are for, instead of using a regular adhesive, these kits are designed to be used by people who have no supplies whatsoever.
Got it.
So the first time you get a kit, you get a block in it. After that, you don't get a block, but it also includes adhesive. So I don't actually use the glue dots on a regular basis. Occasionally I'll use one or two. I do save them because they're portable and, make it easy to go places, but I'll end up using my Stampin' Seal, and that's mostly what people do, just so that you know. And then they often give us dimensionals. We'll be using a lot of these today. Can never have enough dimensionals. And then we get to the kit. So what we're going to do is as we go through, we're going to separate out one of each card, and we'll put the supplies in card 1, card 2, and card 3. Now, usually we take out the envelopes, which is the first item in your packaging. And these lovely wood grain envelopes are pretty cool. And what I want you to do is just pull out 3 of them, because we're actually going to stamp on our envelopes, but we'll do them all at once. So just keep them in their own little pile, but take 3 out. So that's kind of a 4th pile that you have. So you've got the envelopes, you've got card 1, card 2, and card 3. And then put the rest aside. Next, we have our fun background. So it has the trees, and this actually is going to go with card number 1. So put that in your card number 1 pile. I always feel like, I'm on a game show or something when I describe these things. The next is a fun card base, and it is not just a plain crumb cake. It kind of has a little bit of texture looking stuff. And this is the card base for card number, let me see, card number 2. So that's pile number 2. So you'll take that, put it out. Then we have our sheets of things that we're going to stamp on. So you can see I've taken out 1 set already. I'll take out another set, and they always give you some extras. So there's a whole nother sheet that has 2 more on them, but the hexagon is going to go with card number 3. And the stretched out hexagon is going to go with card number 2. And then I can't help it, but I'm the mom of 3 boys. This is a home plate. Okay. That is the shape of this, right? It is not a tag. It is home base. Okay. So home base goes with card number 1. So there we go. We'll take the rest and put them aside. Then we have this gorgeous wood grain with the painted wood. And this actually is, and all the wood grains, I think, but this one for sure is the same as the Country Woods Designer Series papers. So this, if you really like this, that the Country Woods DSP, which is back in stock, does have full sheets of this. And this one is going to go with card number 2. Then we have our card base for card number 3. So I'm just going to put that in my third pile and get out the hexagon that we put there. We put it over there on top. And here we have some circles that already have the trees stamped on it. You'll notice the trees are the same as the ones in the stamp set, but I think the reason they stamped it for us is because they used a different color. Instead of Misty Moonlight, it's stamped with Early Espresso. And we're going to punch out one of those, and it goes with card number 2. All right, we're almost there. This fun painted wood is card number 1. Again, it is the same as some of the paper in the Country Woods Designer Series papers. And finally, we have 3 sheets of these punch outs. So you only need 1 sheet for what we're doing here. And we're going to punch all of these out. The Misty Moonlight pieces, let's do these little curly cues. So they're laser cut, which is always handy. But you have to just be a little careful because these are a little more delicate than they sometimes are. So carefully punch them out. I'm starting with, they're all going to come out, so whatever order you do it in. But the Misty Moonlight one is going with card number 1. The Wild Wheat one, it goes with card number 3, as does the Pool Party one. Okay, so the middle, card number 2 doesn't get any of these. All of these carefully are punched out. And it's just nice that I don't have to die cut these, right? And they're nice. And what's nice is the reverse side is white. In case you wanted to make it a different color, you could always do that. That goes with card number 3. And the final item is the bar, the Misty Moonlight. I'm calling that a bar, and that goes with card number 2. So now we have separated all our supplies, and really the rest of this is so quick and easy. So just give me a thumbs up if you've got your supplies separated and are ready to move on. So awesome. Okay, I know, Lynn, you're not doing it. Yep. You're fine. And Virginia, you're doing a different kit over there. So you're good. So Emma, how are you doing? Are you ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Great. Okay, so let's start with card number 1. What we're going to do is we're actually stamping 2 things on here, which is kind of funny. So we're going to take our home base. And for this one, now, of course, you can use any stamp you want, but they use what does it say? You're the best there is. Oh, let me show you the card. Hang on. Where did I put it? Oh, right. So this is card number 1. The best there is. So really, really easy. We're going to stamp You're the Best There Is in Misty Moonlight. And again, I'm going to use my full size head. What I do with my spots is I have like a collection. And so just recently I had 2 brand new people that really weren't ready to invest in a lot of stuff. And I gave them a whole bunch of little spots. So they've cleaned me out, but you know, they're buying stamps. So that's good too. So sometimes when you have a brand new photopolymer stamp, you might want to stamp it on scratch paper first. I did that before I stamped my card. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp You're the Best There Is on that home plate. But let me just get my glasses on so make sure, try to get it straight, even with the camera in my face. see what we do. And so I'm just giving it a nice impression. Still comes out a little dotted, but I actually kind of like the way that looks. It is supposed to be solid though. Okay, so there's all the best. Now, the other thing we're going to do after you stamp that is, I think they were just, to be honest, looking for ways to kick up this kit a little bit because it's quite simple. They gave us some little speckles. You see this? And what I did is I put it on the opposite side of the same block just for sake of ease and space over here. And what they did is they just took those speckles and stamped it onto the Misty Moonlight little leaves and such. So you don't have to do the middle part of it, which is probably the easiest part to do. You don't have to do that. But they just gave these speckles so that they don't look so plain. Okay, so to be honest, I don't really know if I feel like it's worth it, but because the kit has it, we may as well try it. And maybe somebody will find that it's exactly what they were looking for, or just as a technique for other cards or projects that you might be making. So there I've speckled up the little leaves, and let's take a closer look. See how instead of just being plain, they have little speckles on them. Okay, so just something a little nice. So those are the
And
two things.
Brenda,
Yes.
those speckles will be useful for other cards with
Sure,
lots of other
absolutely.
colors on them. Yeah, I have some of those and I love.
Yeah, it's always fun for backgrounds or just to add a little texture to things. So yes, you are right, Virginia. So, okay, so now let's go ahead and assemble our card. I'm going to fold the card base in half. And for this card, they took this piece that is already has a design on it, and they mounted it with dimensionals. So I'm going to use 5 dimensionals, just like they show. And that this way it pops up for those. So those of you who are on my Zoom card class, which was many of you, we did this kind of technique. Usually I put this layer flat, but in that class I did mount one like this. And it's just a different way to, spiff up the card a little bit, make it a little bit fancier. But it's just going to go right in the center with 5 dimensionals, one in the center and one at each corner. And then we'll take our fun little, I don't know what to call them, sprigs. And, they use the glue dots, but I'm just going to put some adhesive just on that center circle. It's very convenient, just one little strip. And I'm just going to mount it, trying to do it exactly as they did it so that you have a good sample. So it hangs off a little bit, both at the left side and a little tiny bit at the top. You can see that it's going over the edge just a little. And then we'll be putting our home base on with dimensionals. And I'm going to use 3 so they stay in place. Usually I'm skimpier with my dimensionals only because, number one, I hoard them a little bit, but also they're very strong. So you really don't need a lot. But for this, what they did is they mounted the top edge of that home plate, right? And they put it right to the edge of the layer that went on top. So there it is. So we have no bows and no gems because it's a manly card. Okay. And that is that. How did everybody do with that? Thumbs up if that was good for you. All right.
That's a really pretty card.
Right? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be masculine at all,
Yeah.
but it does lend itself for those people looking for masculine cards.
And the actual card, like the blue, that like
Yes.
wood that's
Yeah, the
falling
painted
apart,
wood.
that is beautiful.
Yes, so that is, but like I said, it's in the Country Woods DSP collection. So you can find that very same paper. Okay, so next, are we ready to move on? Are we okay? Sheila, are you good? Okay, awesome. All right, so card number 2, equally simple. And for this one, let's go ahead and fold our card base. And for this card, they just put this down with regular adhesive. So not like they did on the last card. Remember the last one we popped up? This one, they're just doing it the way I normally do it. Although as I said, I've been branching out, doing things a little differently. And this just gets adhered right to the center of that card base. Wonderful. And then let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. Now for this, I don't know if you still need a Father's Day card, but they have the Happy Father's Day to you stamp. Trying to make it so you can see it. There we go. Happy Father's Day to you. I'm going to go ahead and use that, but the You're the Best There Is also does fit there. Or you can use a sentiment from any other stamp set that you have. So again, if you want, you might want to stamp on scratch paper first. If you haven't used it before. And then try to get it straight. A little easier when you don't have a camera in your eyeballs. Here we go. Pretty good. On my sample, I smudged it, so I should have taken that out so you could see it again. So this is what we're aiming for without the smudge. I highly recommend you don't do the smudge. All right. Okay, so next we want, oops, I put it away. Now, this is a lot easier to do with the spot, but remember I said I think they were looking for ways to spiff up the kit a little bit, but you know, it's like it is still good to try new things or old things. But what they did with this is they just swiped the edges into the ink pad. Now, if you're using the spot, which does make it a little bit easier, for that you would do the spot against the edges. But I'm using the big ink pad, so I am just swiping it, and it's giving that little bit of dimension. Now, like a lot of people do this on a regular basis, like for everything. I have one friend who a card is not finished unless all the edges are inked up. I personally don't like the way that looks. That it's a little too shabby chic for me. I like things to be cleaner. But also it gives the idea that maybe there's a piece of paper underneath it. It kind of gives it a layer, without actually using a layer. So that is what they did to spiff up that card. So now, you're going to do that on both of those. And then we're going to do some creative dimensionalizing. That's my new word. So we are going to use dimensionals on the back of the circle that's already stamped. I'm just going to use 2. That's plenty. And that is going to go on the left side of the card. Kind of in the middle. Now, this is popped up. And we're going to be putting our other pieces over the top. Now, if we use regular adhesive on the entire back of this, look what happens. It's going to stick here, and then it's kind of like got to squash down. And so it's going to bring down the dimensionalization of this circle. So instead, what we're going to do is we are going to put on the back of this strip, whoops, we are going to put a little bit of regular adhesive on the left side. Okay, so see, we have some just on the left side. I put some adhesive. And then on the right side, I'm going to use a dimensional. And so now it is going to be level. And that is what I'm going for. I want it to be level so that when I put it down, I'm sticking it here right to the circle. And then it's popped up on the other end. So you can see that it's all the same level. And then to add the tag, the hexagon, the long stretched out hexagon, For this one, we're just going to put some adhesive at the bottom of it. So we're not putting any adhesive at the top. If you wanted to, you could do the same thing and put a dimensional at the top. You certainly could do that, but instead, we're just going to put it at the bottom because that's really all it needs. And so it makes you really think about what are the layers that you're putting on your card and how do you want it to look at the end and in the envelope, you know, be able to slide it into the envelope, etc. So, and believe it or not, that's it. That's it for this card. So quick and easy. And you learned a couple of little things. Okay. How did we do? Everybody good? Sheila, you still working? Okay, you're good. Okay. All right. So our final card is this one. And so this has that wood grain paper also from the Country Woods paper, but this they've gone ahead and printed on. So it gives a nice background and actually a frame for what we're doing. So we're going to give that a nice crease. And they did, remember they stamped on the other ones that we use, the Misty Moonlight ones. We're not going to stamp on these because Misty Moonlight would be ugly on these, right? You'd be able to, they wouldn't be subtle at all, right? So we're just going to leave these the way they are. And we're just going to glue them on, believe it or not. That's all we're doing here. Let me show you the card. So quick and easy. Okay, so we're just going to be gluing them in the background and then we'll stamp. Okay, so I put the blue one down first, the blue party. And I'm just doing it on an angle right in the center of that hexagon that's there. And then I'm going to do the wild wheat one, wild wheat. And I'm going to just mount it right on top of that circle. Now it doesn't have to line up, but I like lining it up because it just makes me feel better. And I know it's in the right place. And that's all the dressiness on this card. And then we're just going to stamp. Now this one is, we're going to stamp this vertically. Of course, you don't have to use the bigger sentiment. But this one says, with love and admiration to the most amazing person. Obviously, does not have to be masculine, but it can be. And that is the beauty of it. So I'm just going to ink it up. Remember, you might want to stamp on scratch paper first, just to get any of the oils that are on there off. So, give it a nice firm grip. And there we go. I like the font on this. It's very basic, but at the same time, it's kind of looks like, I guess it looks like the typewriter, right? A little bit more basic. So that's that. And then we're just going to put it on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to use 2 again because I'm frugal with my dimensionals most of the time. And that's it. So it's a little embarrassing that it is so quick and easy, but these are great cards to keep on hand. We're not actually done yet. Okay. So we're almost done. But those are all the cards. We have those beautiful cards. And the last thing we want to do is we're going to stamp on the envelope. So you can see this is what they've done. And it is a nice accent. And it that since all the envelopes are the same, we're going to stamp just the same thing on each of them. You can also stamp on the back if you wanted to. But I'm just going to use the trees and my Misty Moonlight. And just very quickly, you can go through and stamp them all. I'm just going to put it in the bottom left corner. That's 1. And 2. And 3. Here we go. So now we have matching envelopes, which is always nice to have. Okay. So I know that all of you are more than able to do that on your own. So let's go ahead and take a look at Give me 1 second. I thought I had it open, but I guess I closed it. Sorry. I have a, one of the things that I do is I go through and I try to find other ideas, which you can always search for. So if you ever wanted to find other ideas for the paper pumpkin kit, so you didn't necessarily want to use the kit exactly as it is, or if you wanted to stretch it out a little bit by cutting the bases and using the pieces differently, you can always do that. So let me just open up the file and get it started, and then I will share my screen so that you can see some of the fun things that I found. Let's see, is it open? Here. A little too fast for it. Here we go. Slideshow from the beginning. I share my screen. Always takes a second. Okay. So let's here we go. Okay. Can you see that, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is a scrapbook page that somebody did. They used also the coordinating designer series paper because the card pieces that we have are too small to go down the edge like this. But you can see how she stamped the trees in the background, and she used the card front over here. And the piece that matches this paper is used here. So really well done. We're getting a lot more into scrapbooking, right? Because Close to My Heart has joined us. So that is fun. So this was, I gotta move my people piece. Let's see. There it is. Okay. Angela Meyer is the designer for this. So let's go on to the next one. So this, I guess I blew it up too big. This is from Cindy Coots. On this one, she actually cut it into strips and used it to put on the card differently to make it a fun background. This, she used all 3 of those colors of those sprigs to put in the background on this card. And then this, she just, I think it looks like some twine back there. So just, I thought, I really like this particular, this pattern of paper. So I guess that's what drew my eye to this collection. So there are a lot of people who you know, make their original designs and they post them. And so rather than remaking them myself, I find them and I put them into this PowerPoint so that you can see. This card was done, you can see she cut it into strips. That was the card front, or the piece the panel that was added to the first card. And then she cut it down. So she's going to get two of these backgrounds layered onto a regular white card base. So she's stretching out her card and she's got the blue in the background. Now this thanks is actually from the add-on for the April, May, and June kits. These are the dies that are meant to coordinate. So this is a fabulous thanks to have. And I know I'm hanging on to mine to use. So well done there. That's Debbie McGee. And look at all these that Jody made. You can see how she used you can recognize all the different pieces that, this is the actual card, but see how she cut it in half and has a border in the middle. Here she used some textured paper to put in the background. So you can, all these fun things that you can do. This is a very simple card that you didn't use any of the supplies that were in the kit other than the stamp set. So it's always good too. You can stretch it for lots of things, lots of uses. All right. Next, Leah Dixon. Again, I guess I blew it up too much. here's that thanks. She layered two of them. So there's the white in the back and then the blue in the front. So it sits up a little bit higher. And this is kind of a fun fold with a little flap in the middle. Just something a little bit more interesting. And this uses the Spotlight on Nature dies, and she just cut from this, I guess, is boho blue, and then the paper that was used on the card in the background, and again, using that thanks with a shadow in the background, which is really just the same stamp that, sorry, the same die layered onto each other. That's Lorraine. Well, Lynn Dunn, if you're looking for ideas for Paper Pumpkin, she is my #1 source for alternative ideas. So you can, this was her collection that she did this month. And again, that's a little blurry. I'm gonna have to, I like to make them bigger so that I can see them, but then when I make it really big, when I share the screen like this, it's a little too big. But you can get the idea of what these are. Hopefully in the PDF, when I send it to you, it will look better. You can take a look at that. This one was the one from Stampin' Up. It was part of their ad, but I wanted to show it because I thought this was a clever use of these labels. And of course we have dies that are that same label. And this die is, I believe, also in that supplementary die kit that you can get that goes with these cards. It's good to have. They did add a little bit of it's linen thread, which tends to be masculine. Okay, this one is from our very own Sue Holman. So Sue is a member of my Jersey Stampers, and she does a class with her customers every month, and they all just go to town and come up with these great ideas. So this was just a portion of the ones. I think she has a whole nother, another 6 or 8 that they actually made when they were together. So very fun. This is the pinwheel card, which is very popular right now. It's 8 squares of designer series paper, all put into 2 squares, and you can see directions on that online. Just look up pinwheel card. And so yeah, this is a fun fold, which is the gate fold, which we do a lot. And this is the strips, like I did in my live yesterday, if anybody saw that. There's a template that has 3 strips of paper, and it shows that. Okay.
What's in the middle of the pinwheel? Oh,
There's, let me see. I don't remember
Sorry.
how to, it's okay. I think. Weird thing. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, we'll go. Let me go back to that. I'll show you. So in the center of the pinwheel is she has a, let me just blow it up. There's a little anchor. So she must have had an anchor
oh,
gem, and she put it in the middle there. Yeah.
very
So-
cute.
Yeah, really well done. And I think, yeah, this is the last one. So this is Terry West. She's on the artisan design team. So they are often tasked with coming up with alternative ideas. And this was one of hers. So this looks like it's a belly band that you can slide off, and then a gatefold card where, the 2 sides are folded into each other. So, but really easy to do. So I thought that, sometimes when the artisan design team does it, they're really elaborate and complicated, but I thought this one was, this is something we do often in class. So, yeah, so those are the ideas that I wanted to share today. And let me just replace Spotlight, come back up here, take off my glasses. So hopefully you'll go back and you'll finish your cards, make the rest of them. And let's see. So next month's card kit is fruity. So we'll see what that looks like. There have been some teasers out there, so we know that it'll be summer fruits, I guess. So it should be nice. And if you have any questions or anything, you just let me know. My regular classes are happening next week as usual. So Friday and Saturday, got lots of people coming. So if you want to come, you got to make sure you RSVP. So I have you on the list. And I think that's it. Does anybody have anything?
I want to come Saturday to
Saturday?
class.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll put you down.
Thank you.
I'd
And
like to
this
come
is
Friday
the one
night.
I made. This is the one I
Okay.
made. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hang on. So Lynn, you want to come Friday night? Awesome. Got
Yes,
it.
Me too.
I know. Sheila, I got you. Yep. So, oh, yes, that is a
Goody.
kit from a couple of months ago. If you remind me what the name is, it says it on the side of the box.
Oh, it does?
Yes, the side of the box has the name of the kit. I'll send you the link to the video that I did if you want to see some of the alternative projects.
Okay. This is
On the
September
other
of
end.
2023. The other
Other
end. September of 23.
Nope. Short end.
With love and gratitude.
There you go, with love and gratitude. Actually,
And they're
I have
great.
that kit right here. That's so funny. I have
Yeah.
yeah, that's really funny. Okay, so I'll send that to you. I'll send you the link so that you can see. So when you join, you get a paper pumpkin kit, you know, whatever they have laying around probably, just so that a new demonstrator can get the idea of what's in a paper pumpkin kit. So that's the one that Virginia got. So yeah, they're really cute. All right, well, everyone, thank you for coming. And I'll see all of you next week at class.
Thanks, Brenda.
Joy, thank you. Have a
Thank
safe
you.
trip,
Good night.
Lynn.
Good to see you all. Bye.
You
You too.
too.
Bye.